Hello everyone, here's a video with all 50 Corrupted Emperor's Kamon locations in Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Finding these gets you the secret ending once you beat the final boss. The first one's right at the end of the first half of the KAMON'S mines, which is stage 1. Before you go through this cave entrance there, don't go through that. Look to the left. It's after you beat a bunch of enemies, and just here to the left, it's pretty hard to miss it if you look around. It's next to those red crystals. Just make sure you never run ahead. You always want to get the Kamon before you proceed to the next stage, and always check because the game will lock you out from going backwards. And that's the case pretty much all the way through the game. So the second one is found here. It's after you battle a bunch of crocodiles and that tree falls down, creating a pathway to the next boss. What you want to do is look over here in the corner and you will find this big box. It's bigger than all the other boxes. Smash it and inside you'll find the Kamon. And that's it for KAMON'S mines. Now there's no more Kamons in this stage. Now we'll move on to stage 2, Boon's castle. There you'll find this pathway which leads up to like a grated area, inside of which you'll find the Scotsman, and the third Kamon is right next to him, so completely unmissable. The fourth Kamon is actually missable, so you've got to be careful here. Don't go through the door on the right of the Scotsman. What you want to do is you want to go through the left. If you go through the right, you can get cut off from being able to do this. So don't go through there, go through there. Follow this pathway all along. It's a little bit more tricky than the last few you've seen, but yeah, follow this path all the way along. Game kind of turns side on. As soon as the game goes back to a third person perspective rather than a side scroller, then you're in the area you need to be, and you'll see the fourth Kamon is way up high on that ledge up there. Now, normally a bow and arrow is what you need to get things at that distance, so you may want to come back and do this stage at another time. Once you have a bow and arrow, you can replay stages anytime you want. However, if you jump around and you try and position yourself correctly, you can actually throw a shuriken or some kind of throwing projectile weapon at it. I found pretty hard to hit it from anywhere else, but the easiest spot to hit it from is on this ledge here. If you don't fall off, try and position yourself right at the edge of it and try and put the Kamon in the center of the screen and throw, and you should be able to get it. So early on it's a bit harder to get that without a bow and arrow, but that's how you can get it if you want to try to do it that way. As you proceed through the game, you'll get to this area. You'll see Rothschild standing there on the right, the NPC. You can't go through this door and you can't go through that door, so it's not like you can go any other way. You have to go, it's unmissable really, you have to go this way. Once you pass Rothschild, just run up through this hallway here. That gate will shut behind you, by the way, but don't worry about that. You'll be back in that other area later on in the game. So yeah, once you've seen Rothschild, run up through this hallway. You can't really throw a projectile at it here because the game automatically locks on with your projectiles to the enemies down below, and there's another wave after the initial enemies that are there right now. So you basically have to drop down and kill all the enemies first before you can get it, because you don't have a bow and arrow at this stage. If you're replaying this stage and you already have a bow and arrow, then you could shoot it straight away, obviously. So drop down and kill all the enemies. I'll do that now, and I'll just cut out the killing of the enemies. Alright, all the enemies are done. So now that you've killed all the enemies, make sure you didn't waste your shurikens on any of them, so you've still got plenty for these Kamons. And yeah, so just go back to where you drop down, try and put it roughly in the center of the screen, and just jump around until you get the right angle on where your projectile gets thrown, and there you go. That's the fifth one. Again, keep progressing through the game. This is an unmissable area you have to pass through. You'll get to this room with the swinging axes. You'll find there's 2 chests in here as well, which contain a bow and arrow. So from here on, you'll be able to shoot a bow and arrow at those things. And you can see the Kamon is up the top there, but to get it, we have to go up through the top and through the axes, swinging axes, which aren't difficult at all. As soon as you pass them, jump to the left. The game will stay a side scroller until you get to this door, then it'll flick back to third person view. Now you can turn around and you can pull out your bow and arrow and you can shoot the 6th Kamon from here. As you progress through Boon's castle stage, you'll get to this mountain which you have to climb. When you see that part, just look over the edge and you'll spot Rothschild down there with his flying ship. You need to get down to him to be able to find the next Kamon, so don't go up there. I'll just look over here so you can kind of see where I've come from, but you can't really miss this. It's all a part of the normal plan, and you'll see Rothschild as you're climbing up anyway, so I doubt you'll miss this at all. But anyway, jump down. And once you walk around his ship here and look off to the bottom right, it's kind of out of the way, very easy to miss this one. And aim it up very carefully with your bow and arrow. And there we go, Kamon number 7. Okay, Kamon number 8 can be missed, it's very easy to miss, but you have to progress through this little room here. If you jump up here, you can go left right there by the way, but if you jump up here you'll see the Scotsman. Jumping down to the left of the Scotsman is that same path that you could have gone through a moment ago. Now what you want to do is you'll follow this while the game turns it into a side scroller. As soon as it gives you control back as a third person character, drop down. There's a couple of things to pick up on these ledges that I've already picked up. I've already done this, I've cleared the path. There will be enemies in each of these areas for you to kill. But once you've killed the enemies, you'll end up in this little area of the cave, and you'll see it right there behind those rocks. You'll need to shoot it with an arrow to get it. And that's number 8. Okay, Kamon number 9. You have to progress through the stage as normal until you get to this spot. You'll see this ramp going up and the samurai standing at the top of it. What you want to do is drop down to the right, and if you go around this ledge here, you'll find the Kamon nestled in this corner. And that's the final Kamon for the Boon's Castle stage. Now we'll move on to the next stage, which is Cave of the Ancient. For Cave of the Ancient, right at the start, you'll see the Scotsman's daughter. You want to go past her, climb up that wall, and then immediately turn around and double jump over to this, or somersault over to this. For that skill, you need to go to your physical skills and you need to have unlocked double jump. You can't make that jump without unlocking double jump. So you make sure you unlock that skill first, and then you'll be able to get Kamon number 10. So just keep going through the stage as normal until you get to the castle here, or cave I should say, and you'll see that Kamon number 11 is perched right up top. You'll see the Scotsman at the bottom, right up top there on the left. You can climb up to get it and save an arrow, so hit it with a sword, or you can shoot it with an arrow from below, which is what I'm going to do here to make it easy. Alright, once you get inside the cave, you'll get to this area eventually. What you want to do is you need to jump across here and avoid the red things and shoot that door marked with an X with an explosive arrow. That opens the door. If you go in here, you'll see the Kamon is behind a set of bars. You can shoot it over the top of the bars with your bow and arrow. Just be a little careful if you're running low on arrows that the tips of those spikes can catch your arrows, so if you're a little close or you're a little aiming too low like I am there, you'll hit the tips of those bars. So just aim up, try to aim up a little bit and then back away and you should be able to hit it. Okay, that's Kamon number 12. Let's move on. Kamon number 13. When you get to this area where you have a cutscene that warns you about giant red spikes on the roof, what's going to happen here is those spikes are going to slowly come down. You have to get through these spikes to the end of this area, and before the spikes kill you, you have to turn around and hook to an alcove on the left here behind that area there, and you'll find the Kamon. If you die here, don't worry, you get to do the stage over and over again until you get through it, so that's fine. From the exact same area, once you finish that, you have to go down this sliding slope thing, jump to pick up whatever you want to grab, and then try to land on these pillars. What you want to do is land on these pillars and then get yourself to the middle pillar. You don't have to get to the middle pillar. You can see that door with the X on it. As long as you're on a pillar and you can shoot this door with the X, that will reveal the Kamen behind the door. I'll just make sure I've got an explosive arrow on because that's what you need to get through the door. And there we go. And then I'll switch back so I don't waste my explosive arrows. I only need a normal arrow to shoot it. Don't want to waste explosive arrows. Okay, that's Kamen number 14. Kamen number 15, from the same room that you got number 14, once you're at the base, you just go through this cave and look to the left. You'll see the next Kamen is behind a kind of a fire puzzle. You just have to make your way through the fire to get to it, and you can hit it with your sword. No point wasting an arrow on this one. And once you do get it, that's it for Cave of the Ancient. That's the final Kamen for the stage. The next Kamen will be found in the next stage, which is Undead Cemetery. Now this one's a little bit further into the Undead Cemetery, but you have to be careful because you can miss it easily. The reason for that is you'll see this area opens after you battle some minions. You can actually see the Kamen right in that crypt there. That's because that door got broken during my fight, but that door will otherwise be sealed and you'll have to break it yourself. But what you want to make sure you do is, and I'm just showing you the area here so you kind of get your bearings. That area that opened up at the end of the fight has the Scotsman standing on the left behind that left pillar. I'll show you where he's standing. You don't want to go through those two pillars to the exit. Because if you do, it'll close it behind you and you won't be able to go back. So there's the Scotsman for your bearings. Don't go through. Turn around, smash this door open, and then get the Kamen. Just like everything in this game, don't go ahead until you've got everything you want because you'll get blocked off from being able to go back and get it again until you redo the stage. Alright, the next one, also further on in the stage, this is not too far after the last one. Once you see this cutscene and that area open up, and I'll just show you the area here. This Kamen is on the left. It's behind a box that I broke during my fight. That's the way you're meant to go. If you press focus, you can see that's the way you're meant to go. But don't go that way yet until you break the box that's hiding this Kamen on the left between these two crypts on the left. And I'm just showing you the area right now so you get a good feel for where it is. I can't show you the path to this because you get locked in here and you got to battle a bunch of enemies before you really get a chance to grab that one. But there you go. That's Kamen number 17. And just like the previous two Kamens, with the Undead Cemetery, it's all linear. There's no straying off the beaten path. You'll have a side-scrolling moment like this where you run across a bridge, and at the end of the bridge, you'll see the samurai standing there. Once you've done whatever you want to do with him and you move into the next stage, you'll have a bunch of enemies to kill. I'll just cut that out. So I've already killed the enemies now. If you press focus, it'll tell you to go that way, but don't, you'll get cut off. What you want to do is go straight ahead to this big crypt here and then drop down and you'll find the Kamen underneath this bridge. Once you do go through that area that I said not to go through before getting Kamen number 18, this area here will open up and you'll see the Scotsman's daughter. You probably won't miss this one. It's immediately on the left before you get to the Scotsman's daughter, and you can shoot it through the bars with your bow and arrow. Okay, now that you've got that and you can chat to the Scotsman's daughter, you'll see that gate up ahead. So you'll go to pass through that, but you'll end up battling a bunch of enemies first, and then the game will let you through finally once you've defeated them all. The first thing to do is to start smashing the boxes on the left. The second box from the gate on the left is the one with the Kamen in it. You'll see that portal on the right, just so you get your bearings and you know exactly where this is. So this first box just has some loot in it, but this second box has the Kamen. Now the next Kamen is a little trickier. You'll find it immediately after Kamen number 20. It's this box here, which is a secret crypt. Now I'm going to edit this because when you go down here, you have to fight a bunch of enemies and you have to open a bunch of chests. And when you do, eventually complete this little area here of enemies and chests, that thing on the roof will come down, and the thing I'm standing on right now will come up. But you won't be able to reach that without unlocking a particular skill, which is the jump good skill, holding LB and pressing and holding A to jump higher than usual. So you'll need to unlock that, and with that skill you can hold it down, jump up high, and then you can swing and break that thing on the roof. That will then open up another secret chest, and behind that secret chest, where those vases are, is a breakable door. So break the vases, break the door, you'll see the Scotsman's daughter. You can chat to her. Once you're finished with that, just progress through to the next room and you will see the Kamen. Once I smash these vases, always smash everything for loot, you'll see the Kamen is on the left. Okay, once you've gotten that Kamen, it's time to go through the portal that you saw earlier. Jump through the portal, and before going through that doorway, that big arched doorway up top, climb the stairs, stop before the doorway and look to your left, and you'll see the Kamen right there on the right of that horse statue. I don't know why that didn't break it, so I'll switch to my sword, and that will break it. Okay, that's Kamen number 22. And that's it for the Undead Cemetery. Now we're in the Aku City stage, which right near the start you'll see this waterfall. When you drop off it on the bottom, you'll see the Kamen behind a set of bars at the base of the waterfall. You can't really miss this. You have to go past it, and you can just shoot it through the bars with an arrow. Again, just progressing through the game as normal, you'll eventually come to this area here where you have to run up the flowing water. At the top you can fall off. Don't do that. You want to get to the top, and when you see the little stone platform, it's not stone, but this little metal platform, you can shoot the Kamen with the bow and arrow from there. Just don't fall off. Make sure you get the Kamen before you proceed any further from here. Again, keep going through the stage, and eventually you'll find a samurai, and next to him will be a ladder. You can't miss this. You have to go through here, climb the ladder, and you'll enter the city for the first time. Right at the start of that, you'll see the Kamen up there on the left before you drop down. So just don't drop down, shoot it with a bow and arrow first. So you'll move on forward into the city and you'll fight a bunch of enemies in this area. Once that's cleared, you'll see the Scotsman's daughter over there. You can go in to talk to her and into that room and get some stuff, but first you can go left here, and if you look, you'll have to kill these flying enemies, which are easy to kill. If you look down to the bottom left, you'll see the Kamen way down there, so you'll need a nice long arrow shot to grab this one. Okay, with that one obtained, the next Kamen you'll find after you battle a giant beetle drone and a bunch of enemies in this area. The game will tell you to go up those stairs right there on the right, but instead go around them, jump over here, and if you go down to this area you'll find there's kind of a secret little ladder. You can drop down right here. There's a chest there. You can grab the chest, and once you grab the chest, if you turn around and have a look, you'll see the Kamen straight over the back there, and once again, shoot it with your bow and arrow. Continue to make your way through the game and you'll have a bar fight. Once the bar fight is over, these doors will open, which will lead to that green elevator. But if you turn around before going in the green elevator, don't go in the green elevator, it'll cut you off from this. Turn around before doing that and shoot the Kamen at the top of the roof there. So that's Kamen number 28. Now, Kamen number 29 is at the top of this elevator. Once you go up that green elevator, don't go across there. It'll cut you off. You want to turn around and find it at the back here. You may need to battle some enemies first before you can take the time to come around the back here to get it. But just make sure you don't go forward or too far away from the elevator, otherwise you'll lose your chance. So that's it. We've done all the Aku City Kamons. Now we're onto the Ruined City. And right near the start, what you want to do, as soon as you see the Scotsman, just look at where he is, and immediately you'll see a well on the right. You can jump down this well and you'll see the Kamon straight ahead. Just shoot an arrow to grab that one. After you've grabbed that one, for Kamon 31, make your way through the Ruined City until you fight Demongo. Once you beat Demongo and he disappears, you can go through the archway onto the bridge, and if you look immediately to the right, you'll see the Kamon over there in the distance on that structure, and yeah, just shoot an arrow at that one to get it, like all the others, and just aiming it up. Okay, so once you've got 31, if you turn to your left, you will immediately see number 32. It's being dragged around on a cart by a crocodile dude on the roof of that structure, and you pretty much just have to shoot it. You can shoot it from a distance if you're a crack shot. I'm not, so let's just get a little closer to make it a little easier. Okay, and that's it. Kamon number 32. Kamon number 33 is not too far away from there. Just proceed through the city and fight that little beetle drone you saw me kill just then. The bars will open to this doorway. You'll come out into kind of a open area. It'll go side scrolly for a moment, but once you get here, it'll go back to third person mode, and before going through that hallway, you can just turn, shoot through the crack in the wall here to get this one. Once again, just go through the Ruined City as normal. You can't miss it. Once you get to these stairs here, you'll climb to the top. If you look to the left, you'll see Rothschild and his spaceship. If you look to the right, you'll see a bridge. Once you get to this bridge, which you have to pass through, there's no way around it, it's part of the game, just like nearly all of this, you'll see the Kamon floating on the right of the bridge. Once again, shoot it with an arrow and it's yours. Further on through the Ruined City, you'll spot the samurai doing his little dance. There's a little chest to the left of him as well, but if you hook to the right, there's a well hidden in this little walled area. If you jump down the well, you'll find a fire-based puzzle, and at the top of that fire-based puzzle is the Kamon. You can probably shoot it with an arrow from here, but there's also like a gold coin up there, so you may as well jump up and get both. Fire puzzle's a bit annoying. Tends to always get me. Like, that was a bit rough. Started straight away. Okay, so, alright, just cutting forward. Once you get through the fire, hit it with your sword. It's also best to hit all these Kamons with a sword if you can, to save on arrows. So the next one is also through the Ruined City. You'll come to this area where you have to hit a bunch of statues to open up the door to go further. You'll see there's 4 doors on either corner of this area. What you want to do is you want to go through this door, and you'll have to climb up these structures. And when you get here, you can kind of see over there on the left, you can sort of see it through the fence there. What you want is, we already unlocked that higher jumping skill earlier, so you want to jump up high to get up on this block, and then you can turn around and you can see it to shoot it. There is another way to get to it, but this is by far the easiest way. And that's the last Kamon for the Ruined City. Now we'll move on to the snowy forest, and you really won't miss this one right near the start of the snowy forest stage. When you come into this area here, all you have to do is look to the left and you will see it floating above the top of that structure there. So nice quick arrow and you will be able to grab that one. The next Kamon is found in the next area after you go down this giant slide thing here. So you have to go down this slide, and then at the end of this there'll be a bunch of enemies. You can kind of see it over there you can probably actually shoot it from here, but I'm not going to do that. I'll get closer so you can actually see where it is. So go down this slide. Now you can't go back from here. You'll have all these enemies. I'll just cut that out. I've killed them all now, and you can see the Kamon sitting up top there. You can actually climb up there, so if you want to save an arrow, you can go up that back structure and jump across and save yourself wasting an arrow. Also in the snowy forest, you'll have to pass through this room with this fountain and the Scotsman's daughter. You can actually miss this Kamon pretty easily. What you want to do is go through the door, and before continuing on, turn around and look up above the door. You'll see it up the top there near the roof. You can actually jump up and hit that, or if you've got plenty of arrows like I do, just shoot it with an arrow. Further on into the stage, you'll find an elephant statue. If you press focus while you're here, the game will tell you it wants you to go that way. Go the opposite way to the way focus tells you, which is to the left of the elephant. Break this statue here, and that will cause the elephant statue to move, which reveals a hole in the floor. What you want to do is drop down the hole in the floor, and once you do, you'll see a chest. You can grab the chest, and immediately to the left of the chest in an alcove is the Kamon. The next Kamon's utterly unmissable. You'll progress through the snowy forest stage. Once you see the samurai, you can go past him and you'll see another chest, and then you'll go into a big open room and the Kamon's on top of a statue. You really can't miss this one. Okay, for Kamon number 42, you'll find a chest on the top of some stairs and a hole on the floor to the left of that chest. You have to go this way to progress through the level, so you won't miss this. Once you drop down, there's a bunch of stuff you can break and get some stuff, but if you look off to the left of the samurai into the gloomy distance there, you'll see the 42nd Kamon floating up in the air. So you just have to shoot it with an arrow. Just go down onto the bridge near the samurai is the easiest way. You get to the edge of the bridge to get close enough, and you can line it up with a bow. Okay, that's Kamon number 42, and also the last one for the snowy forest stage. Now we can move on to the prison ship, and in the prison ship, near the start, you'll fight a bunch of Lazarus's little slug minion thingies. Once you do, you'll see a glass here. Break the glass bulb and jump through. That's where focus will tell you to go that way to continue the mission. Don't drop down through that floor or you'll miss out on doing this. There's a couple of chests in here which you can grab, but the Kamon is in the middle in between both chests. Continuing on through the prison ship, you'll end up fighting the Demongo boss, and once you do, a ladder will fall down from the ceiling. If you press your focus button to see where to go while you're in here, the focus button will show you that ladder that fell down, like that. But don't go that way just yet. What you want to do is fall through the floor here. And in this room, you'll find a chest. And behind that chest, underneath the things you jumped on, the crates you jumped on, is the Kamon. Further on in the prison ship, you'll find yourself in this green room area. There's a bunch to do here, but if the moment you enter, you just go straight ahead to this bulb here and break it, the first Kamen in this area is right here. I'll run from here to where Rothschild is standing so that you can get your bearings for the second one. So that's where Rothschild is standing. I'll just cut forward. Directly in front of where he's facing is another bulb. If you break this bulb, which I've already broken, you can jump into this room and then you can jump up to this ladder. If you climb this ladder, you will find the Kamen at the top of it with a chest. There are only 2 Kamens in this green area, so you don't need to look for more. As you move on through the prison ship, you'll get to this area. Now be very careful in this area. Don't just go running forward, because you can get blocked off from getting this Kamen very easily. It's up there in the top left. You can see me here. Now when I go through this door, which is the second one, it'll switch to here. Do not run to that door. It's right there. You have to kind of toggle around to try and hit it with your sword. If you go through that next yellow door, you'll be cut off from getting that Kamen. So make sure you creep through this area very carefully to make sure you don't run ahead too fast. Next, you'll end up coming to this area where there's a boss fight in the middle of it. What you can do, the Kamen's on the other side of this structure. You can go right here, which is probably the best way to go. I went left because I wanted to grab the chest, but be careful if you do go left, if you follow me in this direction. You don't want to go through the door. You don't want to go through that door because you'll trigger the boss fight and block yourself off from getting it. You see how I kind of ran around it to make sure the game didn't accidentally put me into the boss fight. And that's the final Kamen for the prison ship. Now we move on to Aku's tower. Aku's tower, you really can't miss. There's 2 here, you really can't miss them. The first one, which is the 49th Kamen we need to pick, is you'll see it just as you're crawling along the wall, climbing up the tower. So don't worry, you won't miss it. There it is. And there's the samurai. So you'll know, don't go in to see the samurai yet. You want to shoot this first, otherwise you won't be able to get back to it. But once that's shot, you can go into the next stage. And the final one, which is before you actually fight Aku himself, before the final boss, you'll climb out of after battling a bunch of minions, and you'll get a cutscene with Rothschild and his spaceship. Once this cutscene is over, all you have to do is turn and look to the right. So I'll just skip the cutscene so we don't have to watch the whole thing. I just wanted you to see how it starts. So see that cutscene, then turn to the right and you'll see it floating up there. And with that, you've got all 50 of the Corrupted Emperor's Kamens. And now when you beat the final boss, at the end of that you'll get a cutscene, which is the secret ending to the game. Enjoy!